So this is the first episode of On Blast with Chi Pocket.
I'm Chi.
I'm Pocket.
Definitely. And we just call out random things that we find silly or good.
Or good, yeah. No, we're not going to do this whole show about hating.
No,
definitely not. Unfortunately, this first one is about hating, but
we have good reason. We have.
When announced with
the topic of the pilot episode of On Blast with Chi Pocket is the movie, and really more so the phenomenon of Twilight.
I'm sure everyone's familiar with the Twilight books. They're terrible.
I haven't read the books, I'll be honest, so I'm not going to make any comments concerning the books in any fashion. Because
I read the first two.
She read the first two. We will have a discussion about the books when I've read the books. But as
for
of
right now, it's just about the movie.
The film. Now, I have a sheet, front and back, of issues with Twilight. Now, I'm going to hit them point by point so you guys can follow along with me. First of all, this is kind of an umbrella topic. The dialogue.
The dialogue
in this movie.
It closely mirrors the dialogue in the book, but it's a little Lifetime movie-ish.
It's a little heavy-handed. Like there are no
If I can give you an
nuances.
example, and so the lion fell in love with the lamb.
What a stupid lamb. What a masochistic lion.
Things like that.
Enough.
Which is another one on topics. The whole film is it's kind of heavy-handed.
Just a little heavy.
As though it's
and I heard
written.
what those lowlifes were thinking about you. And then he keeps saying things like that as though he said them on accident. I heard what they were thinking. I've said too much.
Which are our next topics right there.
Yeah, Edward's emo-ness. Now, I get that you don't get to eat or sleep anymore. Being a vampire is still kind of cool.
It is, and the thing about Edward is that I get that he's like the self-deprecating, I don't want to be a vampire, I'm a monster sort of vampire. But they've made him into this really sulky rock star kind of character that he's not in the book. I mean, he's tolerable in the book. But in the movie, Robert Pattinson, which I find an awkward, unnecessary choice for Edward, is just gloomy and sulky,
and he doesn't appear to take any joy in being a vampire. I'm like, dude,
or
you're running like really freaking fast and climb trees. Like, there's nothing you like about being a vampire. Nothing at all.
Him and Bella have this really weird chemistry where he sounds very simple when he speaks. He only uses 2 or 3 words at a time,
and he pauses in between them,
and like winces painfully. They do this thing with each other that I think is supposed to be like we're both awkward, but it ends up making them look like there's something wrong with them.
And then there's also Bella's emo-ness. Now, Bella is
the least likable character I've ever.
She's needy and she's dark and she's gloomy. And she just keeps making these awkward... Even when she makes a joke, it's awkward. Like in the beginning of the movie when she's playing basketball, and that one girl walks up to her and is like, hey, you're from Arizona. Aren't people from Arizona supposed to be really tan? And she's like, yeah, that's probably why they kicked me out.
Yeah, she's so depressing. The actress, I don't have anything to say about the actress. I don't hate on the actress. But she literally doesn't crack a smile the entire 2 hours. The entire
Even
time.
when she's supposed to be head over heels,
in
desperately
love
in love. The most she says is she's like, I'm completely in love with you.
Total flatline.
Nothing.
Total flatline. What's that? Edward's hair.
Now, Edward's hair.
The pompadour.
The awkward spikes at times where they just lift it up in the front and then let it go messy in the back. I get that it's supposed to make him look very tousled, very dark.
Tousled with the popped collar.
But you spend the whole time going, why?
What's with this choice? I actually think Robert Pattinson is an interesting looking guy. Maybe he's an acquired taste. But this whole phenomenon over him being the most attractive man on earth has got to stop.
No, let's get this. Okay. His eyes are very hooded, and I get that's sexy.
They get sexy. His hair is very pale, and to some people it's very attractive. He's very
thin.
He
has a 5 o'clock shadow. Looks very scruffy. Like he
looks very scruffy. His eyes are set very deep into his skull, which I guess is very mysterious
and awesome. But
he looks like he doesn't bathe. I get it.
I get it. But it's not doing it for me.
That's fine.
Awkward lighting is my next note here. The entire movie is lit like the funeral on the Sopranos show, like where it's incredibly dark and moody and it's raining the whole time. And I get she lives in Forks, it rains all the time, so the vampires can be in the clouds. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's just there's not a sunny day. Even the one sunny day is only like not even as sunny as we are right now.
I don't actually remember. Yeah.
Like
no, I don't.
Actually, it's like better lighting. It's like they turned up the light 1 notch and you're like, no, it's sunny. Like,
yeah. I don't.
Oh, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say that them sparkling like diamonds when the lights hit them
not that cool. Not that
Fair.
cool. Though that's a choice by the writer, not so much the filmmaker. So I'll leave that alone.
I'll leave that alone. But
honestly,
it's a little like if I were an 80s diva or a gay man, I would love to sparkle like some
Oh,
diamonds
hell
and have a
yeah.
drag show.
Oh hell
It's a little
yeah.
bit much.
Let's inject some good things. What I did like about the movie, I actually like Jacob. Didn't expect to like him, but I think he's a good-looking guy.
Right?
Has a
He's
great
way better
smile.
looking than Robert Pattinson.
He's kind of
You can
charming
take him
in a
in
weird kind of
sunlight?
way. Yeah, you can take him in sunlight. His hair is clearly a wig, but that's fine. That's not his
the
fault.
hair and makeup person's job.
But I
But he
kind
has
of
that
dig
big
him.
white smile
Yeah.
and he's really warm. I like him.
I like him. The baseball scene
was
really
badass.
cool. It was really
so
cool. Yeah.
And scampering up the tree and then like jumping off and catching
Love
the
the
ball.
Muse song that scored that scene.
Yeah, it was
I really
really
dug
good.
that.
That whole scene was really, really nice.
I will say that the last half of the movie is
way
more interesting than the first half.
Awkwardly dramatic moments. The car ride after he saves her from the group of bullies. It's awkwardly dramatic for several reasons. One, his entrance overall, just like in the car and just like get in the car.
Edward can't enter a scene unless he's at the speed of light, unless he's doing stunt driving or walking like
a rock star in slow motion with a top collar.
Right, exactly. Those are the only ways he can be in the scene. I don't know if it's one of those. The way they creep on each other in the first movie, where they're always doing this weird thing where they stare at each other from across the room and they just peer and their eyes meet for a good 30 seconds.
And you're like...
Or, I don't know, she'll be sitting there talking on the phone and she'll look over and Edward's at her bedroom window just looking in. Does no one think that's creepy?
And
like,
weird?
I mean, I get that he's very agile and he can climb up to the second floor and that's badass, but that's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Okay. The awkward discussion they have in the jungle. I get it. And she's put all this stuff together, and yay, she's put together her context
that
figured out that he's a
montage.
vampire.
Damn
I find
it.
that that's a very convenient jungle. Like, 1 minute they're on school campus,
And then
it
the
looks
next,
like
they're in the
the
jungle.
depths of the Amazon.
Yeah.
And you're like, where are we?
It's exactly what it's like.
It's like, and you're like, what the hell? And it's like...
But she takes the most obvious things. You figured out that he's a vampire. I mean,
I'm actually going to X this one out because this actually turned out to be true. The stalking bipolarity on Edward's part, where she's not even paying that much attention to him in the beginning, but he keeps like coming up behind her at school and being like, "We shouldn't hang out. We can't be friends." And she's like, "Okay," and he's like, "Seriously,
we can't be friends. You have to stay away from me." But he follows her. And her next line, I believe, after that is, "You know what? We should hang out."
yeah." Just
Bad
silliness,
choice.
absolute silliness.
Sorry.
Oh, when he's getting bitten for the first time, and by his father, Dr. Carlisle, and they put it in
the flashbacks.
The flashback
to earlier Edward's life before he's a vampire in this weird sepia soft focus.
where it's like, I get that it's supposed to be olden days, but I mean,
It looks like, when you go to Disneyland and you can dress up in those outfits and take an olden day
that's
picture.
exactly what it
It's
looks
exactly
like.
what it looks like,
Actually,
except in motion.
okay, we've actually got about 30 seconds left. I actually think we're going to donate another video to the rest of these facts because they're actually quite important. There's a part 2. Stay tuned.